Hey guys, what's up? Shadowlands back with another commentary. Today I am doing the complement to my top 10 reasons to keep playing CA. I'm doing the top 10 reasons to stop playing CA today. A lot of you guys are on the fence about whether you should keep playing or stop playing, and I did the video for why you guys should not stop playing a little while ago, but now I'm going to do the one for the reasons why it's probably a better idea to quit CA if you're leaning towards this side of the fence. So without any further ado, reason number one is the community is honestly crap. We've seen this, and I don't see it getting fixed anytime soon. I think it's getting slowly better. Slowly. I've been seeing it get a little better over the time, but I can still see it taking a few years to get around, and some of us don't want to wait that long, so might as well check back in a few years, if ever. So, the community is honestly crap. Next up, the game is old. The graphics aren't that great. They kind of pale in comparison to even Counter-Strike nowadays. The global offensive games are amazing. Those graphics turn out great. Soldier Front 2. The graphics in this game just do not match up to current game standards. It's very polygonal, not very, high definition even. So, next up, it's a very time-intensive game, which many of us don't have anymore. It's like when you play this game, you feel such an urge to play more. It's an addictive game, but it's addictive in a kind of negative way almost, where you feel obligated to play it. At least that's the way I felt, even when I wasn't doing YouTube, like before that. I felt obligated to play the game from day one, like after I played it. And while that's the entire intent of a video game, and a good game designer will make it that way, it's still a very time-intensive game, and not a lot of us have it anymore, and it just makes you feel guilty when you don't play the game sometimes. I definitely get that feeling, especially when I'm not making videos. Next up, the content updates are not as original anymore. There aren't really... The whole reason for having new guns, for example, is to cover a ground that has not been covered yet. Like, for example, when the M14 was released, it was like, oh, let's make an assault rifle with less ammo, but that can be used at much longer ranges and still be effective. Well, they've kind of covered all those grounds now. There aren't too many more grounds to cover with guns, so new guns aren't going to be as valuable as they used to be, and to be honest, that's part of the reason they're not making as many sales anymore. And the maps, they've kind of covered every kind of map, and while it's still really cool to see new maps and everyone still loves it, that's really the only kind of content update besides sales that anyone's really interested in. Even sales, most of us have so many perms at this point, at least the guys that have been playing the game for a long time. We really don't need a whole lot more, so even sales don't mean the same thing to us as they used to. Next up, there aren't as many players around as there used to be. Now, this is just a fact. They lose the average number of players. Not saying they lose a set number of players. They lose an average number of players every day. So the average number of people that log on is smaller every day, week to week, month to month. So there just aren't as many players. Either that or they're moving to other Combat Arms games like Combat Arms EU or whatever. Personally, if I had to move to one, I'd go to RU, but whatever. No official competitive league. This is something people have been asking for a long time, and I totally back this. I really wish we had a fully competitive league where it's like a server with only GP weapons and stuff like that. So there's very little actual challenge. You see the tryhards going to go farm their KDR and stuff like that. Oh, that's cool, whatever, who cares? But unless you're setting up a specifically CGL game, there's not really a competitive league with Combat Arms, which kind of sucks. I mean, you can go to those online tournaments, but it's just not the same. You really need to have something funded by the company, or at least set up by the company, Nexon in this case. Next, hacks are still a thing more so here than other games. Now, granted, they're much better than they used to be, but if we keep comparing how many hacks are in the game compared to how many there used to be, of course, we'll always be like, oh, there's practically no hacks. But if you look at how many hacks are still going around in this game, it's still far worse than other games. Even Call of Duty, excluding Modern Warfare 2, pretty much every game is better on the hacking front than, Combat Arms, which kind of sucks. Next up, there is minimal GM interaction. Now, while I said in my last video that it's getting better doesn't mean it's good right now. It's still pretty bad. And because of that, we still kind of see the rage kicking problem. If GMs were more interactive with the community, I think that would really help, tide over the rage kicking problem, and it wouldn't be so much of an issue because people would be, moderating it. Finally, or actually two more things, the game is pay to win, and you gotta pay a lot. Really, I mean, GP weapons, a lot of them are quite good, and they have been releasing GP weapons, I think, to combat this problem. The Tango 51 is a good example. The M416 still, can compete with a lot of other NX weapons, but there's a very limited number of those kind of weapons, and if you really want to win, there are weapons that are even better than those. Like the MSR perm that went on, of course, it's going to outrank a Tango. But for the most part, it's annoying, it's pay to win, and you gotta pay a lot for a weapon, which I always have really hated Nexon for. Their prices are ridiculous. Next up, and actually finally, the game is just dying. I mean, there's not a lot left of the game. I can't, like I said before in my future CA video, can't see it lasting more than 2 more years at most. And while I'm going to enjoy it for the time it's out, and I will continue making YouTube videos, when the game dies, the game dies. And I'm probably not going to move over to RU at that point. I'm just going to say, let's play a new game now. I'm probably going to go to Soldier Front 2 or some other game that I find more fun than this, hopefully. But thank you guys for watching this top 10 reasons to stop playing CA. I hope this did help a few of you make decisions whether to actually stay or even leave. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. If you guys have other reasons, definitely post it in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shadowlance out.